All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Traders Army Stocks on the Rocks. Everything goes. Good to see you guys. Jan, Arlene, Carl. Oh, a bunch of new people. I get Bill, Jason, Mark, Mike, Steve. All right. Well, guys, welcome. This is Traders Army Stocks on the Rocks. Gracias, guys.
Lo más caliente que pueda.
Thank you. Well, in this session, we answer any questions you guys might have. You guys get to know us, get to know what we do. We have no problem sharing with you guys. Maybe some of you have been trading, maybe some of you already thinking about getting into trading. And any questions, guys? Any questions about markets, any markets? I am here to help you guys. So shoot. Shoot. You guys have any questions? What do you guys want to talk about? I want to see some stocks, some markets. How you guys doing with your trading, Jan, Carl? Not all at once, one at a
Well, the
time.
Forex is finally moving a little bit.
Forex is finally moving. Well, let's take a look
A
at the
little
dollar.
bit.
Well, we have a double bottom here.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the dollar. Why not?
Man, the flu went away, but the cough stays. All right, so first,
Call me, bro. Call me.
thank you, brother. So first was first. I like to see charts in higher time frames. I like to see charts to begin to see it on a macro perspective. Now we have a zone here to the left that we found. Now remember, for price to rally out of a balance and take an imbalance position, which means move the price away, somebody has to be willing to buy. Somebody has to consider this to be at a discounted price. Once price comes back down, it's going to find what we call demand. So we have a couple of areas here at demand areas. And we picked up that demand area on a daily back here. Because when we looked at it, that was an origin of an imbalance. When we looked at price basing right here between, it was uptrending anyway. It was coming from an uptrend. And then it decided to base. Once it's starting to base, finally break to the upside. And since it broke to the upside, it never came back down. It never looked back, never looked back. Well, that is an area where institutions jumped in and bought the dollar at what they consider to be a cheap price. Well, we're back at that zone again. We have, of course, the entire origin of that rallying price, but we're finding or picking up the zone that we consider to be buyers, where we want to be buyers, or at least if we're riding the dollar down, an area where we think is going to be a target. So prices start to drop, starting to base. It needs to break those lows, finally break the lows, and he finds some sort of demand to the left, has a retracement, and he's sent back down deeper, has another retracement, and he's sent back down even deeper. So we're still in a downtrend on the dollar. So we got lower lows and lower highs. So now I'm going to remove this horizontal line. So starting from its lowest point, that's a lot easier. From its origin of the impulse, corrective move, impulsive move, corrective move, impulsive move. Now, the reason why we're starting to see Forex trending again is because we're starting to see price dropping again. Starting to drop again, lower lows. Lower low is continuation of a trend. So if we look at something like the euro must be rallying. And here we go. We got the euro, continuation of a rally. Rally. Now I pull back into a demand area, confluence with the S&P 500. We picked that demand area, came to it, and now it's bouncing out of that demand area. The only thing that could bring the price lower and that demand area might not hold is that is an impulse move. It created a new high in price. So you got a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. You're expecting a new higher high. So it could not break the high. So right now the controlling move is this one. So if we remove that zone for a second, just move this out of the way. Right now, where price is ranging between that high and that low. If you already placed this trade, good for you. It's going your way. I will protect. But that higher high right here was created here, which is supposed to push the market higher. But I was expecting to push the market higher when it pulled back here. Hopefully, it would come a little bit deeper and then push the market higher. For me, what I'm starting to see right now is a little bit of consolidation on the upper zone. It's kind of basing a little bit, but the sentiment's still bullish. Nothing has changed. The sentiment's still bullish. It could come a little bit lower. We can find higher time frame zones like that base rally, base rally. So we can find some demand areas here. And then have another continuation. Now, those pullbacks are healthy pullbacks. That's just been rallying nicely. We haven't seen a healthy pullback since these pullbacks right here. We can also measure those pullbacks. This is about the size of that pullback. This pullback is a little bit smaller. That pullback is smaller. So when we measure an average of those pullbacks, something like this, so we pull back to that, measure this one. He pull back. Oops, not that one. I need this one. That one pull back all the way down here. So I'll measure this one. And I'm going to measure this pullback here. Right down here. He pull back to this one. About this low. So I'll bring this and a healthy pullback. A healthy pullback somewhere. It's going to come somewhere on average of these three pullbacks. So it puts me pretty much on average on that zone. So I would love to be a buyer when it comes down to this area. Okay. Same thing. I will do the same analysis in any other cross pair against the dollar. The CAD, if I find confluence with the CAD, oh, that one has a healthy pullback. That was at least a healthy pullback. We had some supply out there. That was a supply. Unfortunately, went a little bit deeper into that supply, so that supply is no longer valid. So when we look at healthy pullback, well, it was hitting supply. So this is not similar as the euro. But if we're pairing these against the dollar, and the dollar is coming in some sort of demand area, supply will be here. If it's coming in sort of supply area, I will say the best demand area I can see is this rallying price right over here. That rallying price for patient traders. Patient traders. You see continuation to the upside, continuation to the upside, continuation to the upside. So I will expect this one now. That one was the first one. That was a rally, ugly base, too many candles in the base, and then rally came to it, bounce now. So we'll see if it's going to continue. So if we're trading any currencies against the dollar, we're starting to see some movement. So that's the main reason why we see finally the market's moving a little bit in our favor or against us. Doesn't matter, but at least it's moving. It was sitting there for Forex traders. It was just sitting there for a while. The Nasdaq and the S&P, one particular thing is if you look at the continuous contract, and I'm going to use the micros, okay? And if we look at the U contract, the continuous contract, the S&P is an all-time highs, okay? But we don't trade the continuous contract. We use the continuous contract just for reference, having some sort of flow on the market without so many gaps. When we go to the front month, which is the U contract, we see that price actually let me move all this stuff out. Let me clear all this out. The actually price already traded higher, which you are in some sort of supply. Let's look at the 4-hour. Get rid of this one. So here we go. We have that drop in price. Now, it was not a lot of volume, but a futures contract is created sometimes 3-4 years before. So sometime around April, I think it was February, there were institutions trading that specific contract. So it's technically not, and even here, in December 2024, that contract was being traded. So we know we are at supply. So somebody there had orders selling that contract, and they were making decent amount of money. So if this is the people that sold that contract and bought somewhere down here, or even here, or it doesn't matter where, but anywhere below where price is at, more likely they're going to sell to us at a supply areas. So we're expecting price to have some sort of resistance out there. I still think we're closer to create an all-time high again than not. So that's one thing I noticed today. The front month, 2 days front month, which is expires. What is it? This is the June contract, expires in 3 months. Is actually showing that it's not at all-time highs. Okay, that's important to remember. Just put that into perspective. Now, if we look at the rest, same thing with the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq, the contract was traded. Actually, it was traded even higher back in, I think it was December. Right there. There was, look at the volume. One contract. Somebody dared to trade one contract. Right here were 4 contracts. And then right here were 7 contracts. So unless it was a fat contract, but regardless, price was traded there. And then you have a 70 contracts, 42, 31, 30, 23, 5, 34. Not a lot when compared to 33,000, 205,000, 414,000, 248,000. So you're going to have some sort of a supply. But we'll see if it's enough to retain these many contracts coming up. All right. So just a quick side note right there. But we are sitting technically at supply. All right. Anything else you guys wanted to see? Some stocks. My favorite stocks. These are my favorite stocks. I have positions in most of them. Yan is like, oops. Tesla, of course, my favorite stock with clean spark. Finally, my mining BTC stocks are waking up, which surprises me that you see Bitcoin almost at all-time highs. You look at the daily, it's only a few $1,000s away from all-time highs, but the mining companies are not even close to be at all-time highs. So I'm betting options big time on CleanSpark, Riot, Iron. Oh, thank you, Iron. I think that's the only one I sold. Mara, I still have Mara. I mean, they're lagging. I think there is an opportunity, guys. I think there is an opportunity if you want to place an analysis on any of these mining stocks. But if you think about what they do, which all they do is mine Bitcoin, that's how they get their revenue from mining Bitcoin and selling Bitcoin, and also holding Bitcoin and then getting fees from transactions. Why aren't they sitting? Are they? Why they are not sitting at all-time highs? or close to all-time highs. That to me, it just does not make any sense. Now, when you look at all of the, actually, let me bring right here. I have them all. And when you see this, so BTC is an all-time highs. You have Clean Spark, Mara. Okay, this is just a candle that I created. Then you have Iron. Nobody is even close to be at all-time highs, which it just, just puzzles me. I don't understand why they are not even close. So I'm expecting any of these waking up, at least one of them, even if I'm not in it, at least one of them. Now I'm placing bets on Cypher, very cheap options. BitF, very cheap options. And I just think this is a matter of time. That's my speculation. But I think it makes sense that if Bitcoin is at all-time highs, I mean, this guy should start to see some revenue. So we shall see. But I do play those bets. Then you have the ETFs. Now this is more correlated, which surprises me the most. This is more correlated to hang on. Let me move this BitB. I don't need that thing. Let me remove that. This is all-time high right here. And look where price is at. While if you're doing mining stocks, some of them are sitting right down here. And it doesn't, I don't get it. I don't get it. These people might be faking it. These people might be doing what banks do and saying they're buying Bitcoin and they're just using their deposits and getting loans on their deposits. I don't know. I don't know where they keep their Bitcoin. But mining is real Bitcoin. I mean, they are mining Bitcoin and they are lagging. So I think there is a huge opportunity there. So I'm betting on that. I mean, right now, finally they're waking up. So I've been buying calls, also selling puts, cover calls. So I think there's an opportunity there. The rest of the stocks that I like, let me bring it back up again. 1 second. Of course, MicroStrategies. That's waking up too a little bit. So this zone is gone. Spacing between this high and this high, but I think it's about to break it. I don't know. It's what my expectation is. It might just continue to base and play around, but if Bitcoin goes up, MicroStrategy has no other choice but go up because that's all they do. So my biggest bets right now are on Bitcoin. Now, the other couple of bets I have, because I know somebody who's doing reports for institutions, is UPS, FedEx, and RXO. These are long plays. They have their financials show that they are undervalued. So these plays are more like Warren Buffett, UPS, RXO, and FedEx. But, if you have access to reports and magazines like Barron's, you will see reports being created by institutions like Trust, where they talk about those stocks in detail. Of course, Meta, I mean, the AI play is doing great. Huge recover from prior $100 not too long ago, like a year ago. It was below $100 and now it's back up to 700. That should tell you something on the stock, very strong. So I think that's a strong stock. Microsoft always, technology, Microsoft continues to be very bullish. Apple is lagging a little bit. I'm a bit worried on Apple because of the issues they encounter. Plus, I don't really like their computers. I have one, and I think They suck. But anyway, that's my personal opinion for you Apple lovers. But yeah, they I don't think they're doing as good as they used to when it comes down to technology. So Nvidia always, I mean, they are the owners of the uh microchips. So it broke my sideways pattern yesterday, and today was a little bit of continuation. So I'm going to have continuation to the upside, continue the trend. Very clear uptrend. So there you have it. Just going to start from here. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. That to me is more like a base, but let's just say higher high, higher low, higher high. So great area to buy if you get a pullback. I will say around 144 to 140. I'll say that's a great area to buy for Nvidia. Netflix, after getting beat up, continues to grow. I remember not too long ago they say Nvidia is going to go out of business, and I was like, okay, but why? I'm sorry, not Nvidia, Netflix. Is going to go out of business, and because it was going down below 200. And I was like, well, it's people not, I mean, I don't use Netflix that often. Um, I know people use it and they continue to pay their membership. So I think their concept is still valid, very strong stock. I'm expecting splits because when it gets too expensive, um, people don't want to buy it or can't buy it really. Or they just say, no, I'd rather buy, I don't know, 10 shares of Apple or 5 shares of Apple instead of just 1 share of Netflix. ASML, ASML also, I think is another good play. So I keep it on my track. It broke the sideways pattern that I had, and it to me is continuation to the upside. So you have plenty of room to run before you find some strong supply. So I think that could be a great play if you guys want to look into ASML. Palantir, technology, of course, technology's kicking booty. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. I wish we were talking about Palantir when it was sitting here. But yeah, the thing is just reaping to the upside, reaping to the upside. Hopefully we get another pullback, but we can jump on this wagon like that. I don't know if it's going to happen, but you just never know. Continuation. So I like Palantir. So that's on my list. And as you guys can see, I don't keep a lot. I think it'll be too much. But yeah, that's my list. I got Google too, of course, big player. They were lagging on AI. I think they're trying to get back in the horse when it comes down to competing with the big AI guys, which I don't understand why they're lagging when they have the muscle power to do it. They have the money, they have the brains, and they were lagging. So finally, they're trying to catch up, and it looks in the charts that they're trying to wake up and smell the coffee when it comes down to technology. But they are lagging. You compare these to their competitors, they are lagging. So we'll see if Google, in a few months from today, we're getting a discount at 174, which I think we are. I mean, Google has the muscle and the money to invest and, be back again to be in a great shape. So it's overall on an uptrend. So I don't see why Google is not going to try to catch up and be back up here in the 200s. So good opportunity there. I think that is a good opportunity on Google. All right. Well, those are the stocks that I like, and I don't really mess with anything else. When you see any of my plays, when it comes down to options, this is it. And I don't put options in all of them. It's just the ones that show me a great pullback. I see a good percentage down. I try to go for it. Iron, for example, when I jump in iron, and I've been telling all of you when iron was sitting here, that's when we start getting into iron right there. Once start breaking to the upside, and then look where iron is today. So I sold it already because it came into supply. That's the only one I don't have anymore, but I sold it. I'm done with iron, which can't complain. You paid. So, but when you look at iron compared to everybody else, when it comes down to mining, BTC is the only one that today, just today, is finally coming close and trying to catch up with Bitcoin, which leads me again to believe that I am doing great with Riot and Mara, Clean Spark. Where's Clean Spark? Clean Spark. And then the other two little plays that I have, I have IBIT, a little bit of IBIT, not too much, just a couple of options on IBIT. And then I know I'm holding, I just got into Beat Farm. I think I told you guys. Beat Farm is just too cheap. Beat Farm and Cypher. So let's just look into a trade. I forgot what is Cypher. So, and I'm playing out these guys like 100 days out, 113 days out, 176 days out. But look how cheap they are. I mean, if even if I lose $70, $60, a couple of $100 for the reward, I don't mind, man. I get to stop out that much in futures. I don't mind. And then I give it, 4 months, 3 to 4 months to play out. I don't mind. So I like this mining stocks. So that is my play. Anything you guys want to talk about? Any stocks you want me to look into it? Forex, futures, cryptos? I'm sorry, Corey could not be here. I'm pretty sure Chuck is doing his baseball games. So they asked me to cover. It's cool when we all can make it. Let me look at crude oil. Crude oil has been very volatile because what happened in the Middle East. And now, after that huge move, this crude oil is just sitting between that high and that low. So if you want to trade crude oil, you got to deal with this right now. I have a zone up here waiting to short because on a 15-minute, I feel that that is a good shorting area. You might have another tiny pocket here of orders if you want to try to do a fake out. But a lot of people likes to trade crude oil. There is a good range. It is a range between 64 to 67. That's 3 points. That's $300 micros, $3,000 minis. But you got to go to a very small time frame to try to trade that, and you don't really have great zones in there. Oh yeah, tomorrow we're gonna have a special guest. It's called Mr. Taylor Frame. Great trader, guys. He is a true trader. He taught me a lot. He helped me out tremendously. We started at around the same time investing. Actually, I started 1 year earlier. But I was a business owner. I was too busy with my business. And every time I would come back to the academy, he was there. And then he became student support. He was actually the first student support for the entire academy in 50 centers around the world. He was the first student support. And then I remember I sat down with him. Woof, I was 2011 maybe when I sat down with him, and he was just showing me a few things here and there. And I was like, man, you came a long way for being a student. And then a few years later, he was an instructor. And I was like, what? Now you're an instructor. So he's coming to join us tomorrow. He has a strategy that is the opening range strategy. I know Liz, she's in this academy too. She does the opening range. And as far as I know, she's very successful at it. So he's going to come tomorrow and show us the opening range. between 9 and 10 a.m. That's only for members. But it's gonna be fun. And I say just pop up anytime. So he will pop up anytime. And you guys will get a chance to see Taylor Frame in action. I let him drive so he can take over and drive and show us how he does his opening range. I haven't done the opening range in a long time, so I don't even remember. But hey, if it's something that we get enough percentage win ratios, we go for it. Okay. All right. Goldie, same thing. I mean, he got scared because of what happened in the Middle East. But now gold is just sitting to me on that range between that high and that low. That's what we call an impulse correction. So you have an impulsive move and then a corrective move with an expectation of an impulse move. But he couldn't do it. So to me, if you came all the way down to here and pushed the price so close to another all-time high or to a higher high, in this case, all-time high, and you cannot break it, and then price is being sent back down, that to me is a sideways. So it's being on a sideways. And by the way, markets spend 70% of the time on a sideways pattern. 70% of the time. 10% of the time on an uptrend, 20% of the time on a downtrend. So according to statistics. So that's Goldie right there. What else we got here that we could see that might make sense? In the index, the Russell and the Dow, they're lagging a little bit compared to where the S&P and the Nasdaq are standing, which is somewhere around here. They are lagging a little bit, which I think is also a great opportunity. When we look at history, prior times where the S&P and the Nasdaq hit all-time highs, they both lag until finally they were able to reach all-time highs too. So I think it's a great opportunity to start looking maybe some options and getting into those. We had some levels that we marked and they worked out. The first one didn't, so that was a stop out. But the prior one, that worked out great. That worked out great. And that happened on Wednesday at the end of the session, at the end of the day, not the session. And then the YM usually, and this is my impression, YM usually follows first, and then Russell lags, and then eventually Russell follows. So, and as you can see now, the YM is getting closer. So I think the expectation for the YM is trying to catch up with them. And then what I remember, I don't know if you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but the YM then became the leading bullish instrument after was able to catch up with the S&P and the Nasdaq. Then the YM became the leader, moving prices higher. So I'm expecting to do the same thing. Markets tend to repeat patterns, so I'm expecting to see that repetition happening. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Oh, there you go. I got a question. Mike, hi Herman. Would you mind looking at yes, ANET and SMCI if there is time? Yeah, we'll do that. Have puts on both, hoping to make a little bit and a pullback. Okay, let's see. Let me analyze. Don't give me the bias, because if I hear puts or calls, then I might get biased. So I'm just gonna analyze it like there is no bias on my end, just analyzing it. So ANET. Yeah, that way I'm not creating false expectations. So ANET, right away, what I see a very strong chart, and this is a daily, yeah. So I see a very strong chart, and then all of a sudden, oops, what happened? That bullishness got broken. All right. So all of a sudden that bullishness. So to me, right there, that inflection point, that is a supply area, 100%. All right. So starting from there. Next, price clearly dropped to some sort of a demand area. So let's see. So it went down. Let me see if I could change these to percentages. Forgot how to change these to percentages. There you go. I think it's here. Show percentage. Ooh, so it was went up 22, it went down. So it dropped by good more than 50% when it comes down to percentages. So let me change this. All right. So a huge drop. So I go and look to the left. I mean, it's easy to see after the fact to say, well, it bounced out of the demand area. Yeah, well, you had that demand, but you have this demand first to me. That's the important one because that's a retracement and then continuation to the upside. So to me, that was more important. I think it was a fake out. They actually gap lower. Remove this. He actually gap lower. And then it was kind of like a fake out gap here. And then from there, never sell, never look back. So what I will do is I will start an impulse. Let me do it on TradingView. It's a lot easier to draw and analyze things on TradingView. So let me use TradingView. So much easier when it comes down to using the charts. All right, because I can use that polyline. All right, so it was going up, came back to the demand area. To me, this was the demand area. It just fake out. That was the demand area, fake out, and then from there, never turn back. So you were on a downtrend. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Just lower low here, and then lower high, and then this is supposed to create a lower low. Then that's a downtrend. So let me change this. Template, downtrend, red. Then we went to breaking this high and that high. That technically is an impulse, corrective move, impulsive move, corrective move, and the new impulse, new high. And then I'm expecting a corrective move. Now that one is going to be green. Okay, that's going to be an uptrend. All right. So to me, I have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Two consecutive higher highs, two consecutive higher lows. To me, that's an uptrend because this is a daily chart. So I'm on an uptrend daily. What I see, the biggest significance for supply is all the way at the origin of that impulse correction, impulse down, I'm sorry, corrective move to the upside, impulse to the downside because it was on a downtrend. So that is my supply. So my expectation is price is going to try to reach 116.93. All right, now, then I look between current price and the supply area, I look for a drop-based drop. Unfortunately, it has a lot of gaps. Let me see if the 4-hour might give me something different. So right here, I look for the area that broke that low. So I'll bring that down, look for the area, the fight that took place to break this low, and I found that right here. There we go. So we have that supply area. And right now it's bouncing out of that supply area. If he overcomes that supply area, you have another one here to fill the gap. But I think price, if everything goes well and nothing changes, and no other bombs or some crap happen in the Middle East, my expectation is price will reach 116.93. And I'll give it, because you get pullbacks, you get a rally, pullback, another rally. I'll give it about a month or less for price to maybe reach 160.93 probability. Now, we might see out of that supply and out of this supply, we might see price bouncing. So my expectation will be getting a pullback, maybe deeper, maybe come back, and then eventually do something like that. So that will be, if you want to take a picture, that will be my expectation. And then finally price will reach here. Now, after that, if this is not able to send it back and have a very nice retracement, then it's off the races and continuation for that strong uptrend. So Arista Networks. Let me write that down. I like what I see there. So maybe I take a look of that one. I don't really bring more stuff into my stocks. I'll keep an eye on it. ANET. but it looks pretty bullish to me. I like it. Now, if you're going to sell some puts or buy some calls, depending on the IV gauge, my expectation is price will not come below 85, 85, 86 anytime soon. So that will be my expectation. So if I could get some good premium for that, I will do it. Now, I'd rather see a pullback. I'd rather see price hanging around here so I could sell it for a little bit more money. But I think you'll be safe around these areas. You know, maybe sell the 82s, the 80s. That'll be it. And if he comes back and the IV gauge is not too expensive, maybe buy some 94s, 93s for continuation to the upside. And if you buy some 94, 93s, if you want to cap your gain and minimize your expense, then I'll buy, if he pulls back, I'll buy the 95 to 94s, 93s, and then I'll sell the 115s or 110s or 112s, something like that. Okay. And then the other one is SMCI. Hang on, somebody's typing something. Thank you. Right now, have puts 101, 99, 95. Well, the 101 is kind of tight. What's the expiration on the 101? I mean, you're buying puts or you're selling puts? Expiration June, July 20. I bought puts. And they expire in July. When I buy a put or a call, I give it at least 3 months. I mean, 45 days. No, I'm lying. 45 days. Well, really, no. The reality is no. I don't do that anymore. I used to do 45 days or more. I don't do that anymore. I changed that strategy. I just look for puts, buy puts or buy calls, but I look 6 months to a year out, and I just my pressure goes away so fast. But if you bought the put, um, you added supply. So looking at this, you need to start seeing candles closing below all these lows. Okay, so if the open tomorrow happens, is this a 24-hour stock? Not sure this is a 24-hour stock. Some stocks are 24 hours now. But if it's not, not big deal. But you need to start seeing prices closing below 100, 199, 199 cents. You need prices closing below that. You need the candles closing below that. If you do that, oh, you got something coming, because it's probably going to try to come to that origin of the rally, that speed candle. It's probably going to try to come here. Now it's been very bullish, correct? It's been very bullish, but if you measure, and I guess people don't like technical analysis, but I think technical analysis is great. When you measure rallies, this is what you have in your favor, at least on these two. This one, not so much. Okay, so before you get a pullback, and I'm doing this because, like I said, charts, they tend to repeat. So I'm just going to move this right there. Let me just be here. Let me just be here inside the zone, because you might go a little bit deeper into the zone. I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to put this one right up here. I'm going to put this one right. This is the only one that doesn't help you. But on average, a pullback should bring you somewhere around here or here, if it's a decent pullback. Okay? So you need to start and see candles. As you can see, you see candles basing, finally a candle closing outside of that mess right there, and then you're starting to see the fall. Candles basing, finally candles closing outside the range of the previous candle. That's another example here. So candles closing right here. Candles were basing really. So you need a candle closing outside the red candle. And it closed right here, which means close outside all this mess, and then it's starting to drop. Candles basing up here, and then you see candles closing, that red candle closing outside the range. It's time to give you a good sign, and then next few days a drop. So you need the same thing here. You need to start seeing candles, and you might get even a higher candle. That's it's normal. But really, when you need to start worry about it is if you're starting to see candles and no closes below the base, uh, then probability is starting to diminish for you. Okay, that's the only thing I'll worry about. But for now, you're okay. I mean, you're good. You're okay. That's on 8 net. But yeah, my expectation, if you get a decent pullback, I would expect it to come down here compared to all these lines that I draw. Uh, but minimum of these areas. So you have 95s, 99s. I mean, yeah, if you see it happening in the next few days, you're still gonna get some volatility in your favor probably, and time um beta in your favor. So yeah. All right. The reason you got it is because you were at supply. The reason that's what reason you sold it because you got it supply. Because that supply was the one that broke this low. So I like the supply. So if that's the reason you bought it, I mean that's a good reason to buy it. So you are at supply, and that supply broke that low. All right. And then you have SMCI, super microcomputer. Oh, another technology there. Well, it's waking up. It is waking up. You broke everything down. So on November, it was like, you're going out of business. And all of a sudden, it's like, nope, I'm not going. I don't know if they partner with anybody or what happened, but now this is the controlling move, correct? Now you're doing this, 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 this. So the controlling move right now is saying you're on a sideways between that high and this low, okay? Get rid of that. And he's been doing that since February, okay? So you're on the high when you're on the low. All right, so what I mean, if you're already in a position, you're probably looking for a breakout. And if you took a breakout, then you're expecting price to come somewhere around these areas. Okay. Um, if you're selling puts, you don't expect price to go below that low anytime soon. Okay. But if he does, then you got a demand area right there. Now, the good thing here is he broke. He broke all that sideways was going through for what? A month almost a month. That was 14th of May to the 25th of June. Oh yeah, more than a month. So it was just sitting on that range between 39 and 47. Broke that range, so you got plenty of room to roam. So I'm not sure what you get here. Let's see. Anytime, Mike. I'm not sure if you're ready into this or you want to get into this, but if you did a breakout, yeah, it looks decent. You got room to roam between 47 and 56, 57 area. And if you have some puts, then I don't see price coming below that. I mean, he tried for an entire month and a half and he couldn't do it, couldn't go below that. So selling the 38 would have been okay. And if he pulls back down, I think that's a great area to buy, depending on the IV gauge. I bought the 46, 45 and experiencing 46, 45. So you bought them. So if you bought them, you expect them to go down. Not looking good, Mike. Not looking good. Because he just broke that high. So it's not looking good. And he has nothing stopping it, really. We look at the 4 hour. Yeah. And if you get a pullback, I mean, the past, unless there is something major, what is this? Computers surged nearly 9% in trading markets, a single increase in a month, reaching the highest level. Yeah, that's going to attract a lot of people because people just go by percentages. So that's going to attract some people. The only thing that might help you is that they might dump on people. I don't know. I don't know what is their deal with super microcomputer. But technically, when you look at technical analysis, you might get a pullback. But my expectation is just analyzing this from this small perspective. You might get a pullback here, and then you might get another high, but I just don't see it right now. Yeah, it's pretty bullish right now. You do have this basing candle here, but I don't know. It's continuation, continuation, continuation. So I don't see supply until it comes all the way up to the 57, 58. So if you bought the put or if you sold it, then you might be okay. But if you bought it, yeah. And if you bought it, he's already against you. He's already against you. And well, the good thing is when you buy the put is the most you can lose. So was it a cheap put? Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. My strategy, guys, in options, I'm just looking for, this. I told this. I have no problem telling people this. For example, Tesla is one of my favorites. I just wait for an extraordinary thing happening. And I remembered when I was in Hawaii, um, that drop in price. I see a big percentages right into the demand area. If I can sell puts, I sell these puts. And if I can buy calls, I buy calls out. But I mean, I try to save me some money. So I buy, maybe the 80s to 90s and I cap my gains, but it doesn't cost me that much, but it still makes me pretty decent amount of money. So that's what I do. I just wait for big pullbacks or rallying prices. Something unheard of or not common on that stock. And that's why I keep track of just these little guys. That's what I do. It seems to oscillate maybe $3 or so either way. Has been one of my consistent winners. Okay, I was very surprised to see. Yeah, I know, man. It's they're like your cows giving you milk every morning until one day they go against the owners. Yeah, and that right there, what was it? Let me go and see it again. Mm, SNCI. Uh, just that right there, that will attract people because people, oh my God, it jumped 9%, and then that'll bring people in. But the good thing is people that don't know will jump in, and people that knows will sell it to them. So they expect more people to come in and push it, and they'll sell it back to them. Yeah. After that jump in price, I mean, you just said it yourself. You're surprised that he did that. It was nicely on a sideways trend, but I mean, he done it before. Look, he broke that pattern, and like I said, markets they tend to repeat their patterns. He broke that pattern, and the next thing you know, it was like bye bye. So, same thing to the downside. He was just sitting on that range, broke that pattern, and then bye bye. You got to pull back and then buy down again, pull back and then down again. So, yeah, one thing you have. I mean, I'm nobody to tell you it's good or bad. I'm just saying, uh, technical analysis tells me. I mean, you break it sideways, your continuation is to the upside. You bring this type of news, novices will see that they will jump in it, and then eventually, uh, wholesalers, institutions will sell to them somewhere up here. Okay, that is my speculation on that. All right. Hopefully, I didn't accidentally try to milk milk a bull instead of a cow on this one. Well, if you were making money, you gotta be happy with it. Just make sure you have a cap on how much you're willing to lose on that. Now, well, I mean, we're learning. as long as, see, my main concern for all of you is make sure you have stops. Because if this thing is paying you and paying you and paying you, and you've been, getting paid for this, and then all of a sudden, it goes against you, well, you need to start looking for an exit. If I was you, seriously, I mean, there are so many opportunities every day. If I see tomorrow prices pulling back down and it gives me a chance to get out a break even and small loss, even if it continues lower, I don't care. I'm not testing buyers after breaking a sideways. I'm not testing it. I'm not letting them prove me wrong. Price already proved me wrong. So I'm not going to the hopium thinking, um, I'm expecting a red, candle. I'm not going into the hopium thinking, well, it broke high, but no, I think it's going to pull back. I won't do that because when you see something trending, once it's starting to trend and go up, it is gone. Break a sideways pattern, break it, and he's gone. Break it, and he's gone. So I'm not testing that. Probability says it's not in your favor. Can it happen? Oh yeah, it could happen. But then it's just hopium. Maybe this time does it. No, I get out of that thing. I look for and I accept the fact. Now, I'm not telling you to get out, but me personally, I'll be like, I accept the fact that, okay, listen, he did what was not supposed to be done, correct? You did it because he was on a trend. And then all of a sudden that trend is broken. And then you get into the hopium thinking, oh, maybe nothing. That market is no maybe. It just protects your account. So yeah. I will just, take it as what it is. It's breaking highs and it's being very bullish and it's attracting novices' attention, saying 9% up. When I have a friend who pulled out a report on RXO, and when he pulled out the report, the price was here, was right down here. As soon as he brought the report to institutions, price did that. That's when I found out. That's when I found out about the stock because he made that report public. And then that thing just bye, 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 bye. Finally, that's what I'm saying, that institutions of whoever wants to get rid of that because whoever bought this, he's been suffering, correct? He's been suffering for a while, correct? So any pullback, you can get rid of it because you've been suffering, thinking, oh my God, I was told that this was a great stock, so I'm going to buy right there. I'm like, okay. Or even if you bought here, right there, that zone. Or even if you bought here, okay, you're so happy, oh my God, I'm riding that wave, but you don't have a stop. Now you become a long-term investor. Well, next time you see this thing pumping, then your first expectation is saying, okay, let me get rid of a 60% loss or a 40% loss. Okay. So some people is trying to get rid of it. And the institutions that I know, I know that for a fact. I know it. He's meeting with hedge funds. So I know they're buying. Um, they buy it, push the price away, and then waiting for price to come back down, buy more, and I start accumulating because this stock, according to the report, is undervalued. Okay, they do an extensive research on something they undervalue, and now this is a 2-year play for me. This is not a 6-month play. This is a 2-year play. So when we look at your stock, I think it's going to be the same situation where they are holding, um, waiting to dump somewhere up here, and then you might get a chance. But I won't try it. I won't try to see if he's going to continue higher or lower, trying to get me out. I would just, look at the candles, and the candles will tell you a story. What was it? SMCI, yeah. And by the way, bro, I mean, whatever I'm telling you, I am no guru at this. I just look at the charts. And I just go with probability. Now if you see maybe tomorrow prices starting to close below this, okay? Close below that, that might give you a little bit of hope, but you want to see prices really closing below all this, at least a candle closing for maybe getting a chance to get out of that position. Okay. That's the way I will look into it. Not financial advice. This is just the way I will do things. But yeah, I will start looking to get out of that thing. That to me looks like a rally base rally. Price might come to this and then rally from here. Might, but I don't know. Okay, I just see that it definitely create a new high price. All right. Well, guys, thank you for showing up. Not talkers. I don't know why you guys don't come here and talk. Let me know what you guys have, but it's all right.
Oh, thank you, bro. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, guys, I'll see you
Yeah,
tomorrow
thank you,
morning.
Herman.
Thank you, guys. Taylor Frame will be in the house, so
We'll
come
be
over.
there.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Take care, man. All right. Bye-bye.